Welcome back to the channel. Yes, today we're working on doing the next thing after getting done with all of our harvest, which is hauling out of our pit here. So window's a little dirty here, but we've got most of the liquids out of our pit, so we're hoping to be able to almost finish up getting the liquids out today. So we got almost all the liquids we can pump out of this side from this pump pumped out, and then we got to go over by the red tractor and pump some more out of there once we run this pump dry here, so that way we can work on getting down and work on digging the solids out of the pit here the next couple of days. Just working on loading my fourth load in this spot. So we've been hauling for a couple of days, and then we got a rain break yesterday. It rained just enough where it got the field schmeary so we couldn't haul. So now we're back hauling in today, and like I said, we should hopefully be able to finish the liquids out of the pit yet today, so hopefully we can finish that. I got a couple more loads here, but I might have to find one more spot, I think, to put some liquids before we run out of liquids here yet. Got a little fancy camera here, not very fancy, legs a little bit, but you can kind of see what it looks like spreading out the back of the tanker there. Yeah, so we'll just keep moving here. Hopefully we can finish up with these liquids yet today. So it's the next day now. So yesterday we finished hauling as much manure out of focus that corner as we could with that pump. So now we got this pump hooked up here. This has been here before, and then it can pump through this silver line, and then we have our very OSHA approved set up here to hold a pipe over the tanker here. So shouldn't be too many more loads once we get down to this corner. It's a lot of solids and liquids, whatever liquids are left here, but we just suck as much out of here as possible until there's no liquids left, and then tomorrow we'll work on coming down here with spreaders and skid loaders and starting to clean out the solids. Day now. So yesterday we were able to finish pumping all the liquids out that we could, so today we started on hauling actual solids. So we've been hauling for probably about 2 hours now, and for now they're not even off the ramp enough where we can back the spreaders down the hill into the pit itself. So for now we're parking the spreaders on top of the hill, and the skid loaders, there's 2 skid loaders going right now, are bucketing the manure up to the spreaders for now. So hopefully a little bit here they'll have enough scooped up from the bottom of the pit where we can actually at least back the spreaders down there so they don't have to drive so much with the skid loaders. But right now we got 2 skid loaders going and 4 spreaders, so we're actually getting quite a bit accomplished at least. We're just going to be calling it quits for today. So we finally got off the ramp and down in the pit a little ways where we can back the spreaders down there. So right now we hooked up one of our tractors, our 4320, up to the pump here. We're just going to pump a little bit of liquids that we have here out into our tanker truck. That way we don't have to worry about any of this hanging up over there, and make it so all of our progress that we had today go bye-bye. So tomorrow we're going to go a little bit later than we did tonight, so hopefully by the time we get done tomorrow night we'll have a good chunk out of here done. Next day now here, just got back down into the pit for my first load here. My dad's running the skid loader for now, so he's by himself. We're running 3 spreaders for now, hoping my brother's gonna be home. He can run a second skid loader and maybe have one more person to come run a 4th spreader. We have 3 of our own spreaders right now, and then my uncle that helps us chop sometimes has his own spreader, so he's helping haul with that too. So hopefully we should be able to make a pretty good dent today once we have everyone here and stuff. They've been hauling for a little bit here, so they're a little bit farther than they were last night, but not too much farther here. So get a good start here hopefully, and be able to get quite a bit accomplished hopefully today. So I'm out here in the field hauling, so I figured you guys might kind of wonder where we're hauling all this manure. So we're in the field that's pretty close to the farm. I know it's dark out, but that's the farm right there. The pit's just on the other side of the big barn there. It's all up on top of the hill. So you got this farm field here, so it's decently long. So me and another one of the spreaders is just hauling. The other spreaders over there, if you can kind of see the light coming down the path. We're hauling on one spot of the field here that goes the whole length of the field, and then the third one is just hauling little bit over here, but we're all hauling in the same field, just close to the farm. So keep the skid loaders pretty busy here. It's not like they're waiting a bunch. So yeah, we'll keep going for now. It's only 5 o'clock, but the old time change, it's already dark, pitch dark out. So it makes it feel like it's way later. So keep moving here and see how much we can get accomplished yet tonight. Calling our quits again tonight with one load out of the pits of liquids with the tanker truck here. Hauled for about 5 hours tonight, and we made quite a bit of a dent over there. So we're gonna skip school tomorrow, so we'll have 2 days of hauling, Friday and Saturday, hauling there today, and then however late at night, because they got, apparently there's snow supposed to be coming Saturday night, and a bunch of snow / rain or whatever it is. Either way, if we get a bunch of snow and rain, that's not going to be fun, because either if it's snow, the ramp's going to freeze up trying to get out of the pit, and then it's going to be a skating ring out there, or if we get that much whatever, that's going to be rain out in the field, and it's going to be a money mess. So we're trying to hustle to get as much haul of the pit before then. Next morning now, we just got done with chores here, so we're going to work on oiling and greasing our fleet of spreaders here. So this one right here, that's my uncle's, and then the other 3 are ours. So we just gotta oil and grease them, and then we should be able to get started here. We got a little bit of rain last night, nothing too much, just enough to make the fields a little greasy. So might have a little mud on the road, but hopefully we shouldn't have too many problems there. I just got back down here for my first load. So now that it rained last night, we got a bit of a soupy pond down here. So that's gonna be a little bit of a mess for us to clean up here. So the way we normally do that is you kind of just scoop a little bit of liquids out with the sand, and then sometimes what you can do is you can scoop a bunch of sand and kind of mix it with the liquid, so it kind of stiffens it up a little bit. But we'll see how that goes for us. But since we're doing have a bunch of liquids, I'm just gonna run the small spreader for now, since it's really hard to load the big spreader that I was driving yesterday, since you gotta just get the bucket so high and you have to be very careful not to spill everywhere all over the skid loader. So just to make it easier, I'm gonna run the small spreader for now, but guess we might stay in here too, because we're gonna have my mom and Duke are gonna run skid loaders, then my dad will probably run a spreader, so we'll be able to run 4 spreaders hopefully all day. So it's about 10:30 right now, so we should be able to get quite a bit hauled out of here today. Just about a little over 2 hours later here, so we finally got enough slop scooped up down here where I hopped in the bigger tractor, a bigger spreader here, so get some stuff really accomplished now. So we're still just gonna be running 3 spreaders for now, and I guess we'll see when my dad has my mom take over for him in the skid loader, and maybe he'll run a spreader yet. But like I said, we'll see if he does that or not. So making some pretty decent headway now, especially now that we got slop out of here, so they can actually fill full loads of the solid stuff and not have liquids in there too, where you can only fill a spreaders about 3/4 full. So should really start getting some stuff accomplished now. It's a couple hours later now. We've been hauling pretty non-stop without any problems. Still only run 3 spreaders here, but we have enough room now down the pit where we can actually drive down in here and not have to worry about backing and stuff. So that's nice. We have enough room. We can actually fit both spreaders in here. Not both, but 2 of them at once, so that way you're not having to wait for the other one to get out before you drive down here with the second one. So about an hour now since the last clip here, but it's starting to rain a little bit here. It's supposed to look like just a little mist on the radar, but we'll have to see if that actually turns out to be anything. It's been raining for about 20-25 minutes, just like a sprinkle like this, but the roads aren't getting completely covered in mud by us when we come out of the field and stuff yet. So as long as it stops here remotely soon, we should be okay. So over halfway down with emptying the pit, I think it's safe to say that. So should hopefully be able to, as long as we can keep going for a while yet tonight, should be able to pretty easily get done tomorrow. So we'll have to hope we can do that. It'll be okay. Duke's still giving her heck with the old skid loader. So we're calling it quits here. A couple hours later, about 8 o'clock. So we've hauled for 10 hours straight here and got quite a bit accomplished. So right now, my dad and Duke here are just working on building a berm right here, so that way the liquids that are slowly flowing out don't fill the whole pit. We'll just have like a little pond right here, so it's not quite as big of a mess to hopefully clean up tomorrow when we get started. So hopefully we should be able to easily get a lot of this out of here by the time we're done tomorrow. Well, to start of day 4 here of hauling solids out of our pit, so basically the last day, whether we get the pit empty or we just get weathered out, because it's gonna get stormy tonight, whether it's rain or snow. It might be snow because it got really cold last night, and temperature seems like it's gonna drop the rest of the day here. So just working on putting air in a couple of my tires. The solids that we're gonna be hauling today are gonna be really heavy, so we want to make sure all the tires and stuff are good to go. So I'm working on this. I think they're starting to get the first couple spares filled up, so get these tires checked and stuff, and we'll get started. Just got down into the pit for my first load here. So overnight the manure from the barn comes down in here, so we got this liquid pond here that's kind of separating us from the actual solid liquids that we have to deal with again. So luckily last night the berm that they built held, so that way it's just contained over there. So they're gonna slowly scoop out a mixture of liquids and solids here again this morning. Hopefully in about a couple loads here we'll be able to get straight back to solids again. But so we're gonna have to work with here for the first couple loads. So we have enough help right now hauling the pit that I can go work on some other things. So my dad was running the second skid loader here. Now I got my friend Sawyer took over for Dad. He's running the tractor I was running. So Dad's gonna haul, and then me and my other friend Will here, my other friend, we're gonna work on putting some of our equipment away. So I just got done washing up our one pump that we have that gets put in a different shed. So we're gonna go put that away in its cold storage. We're gonna put a couple other things away, and then this tractor probably gonna get hooked up to the finisher, and we might try to work some of these fields yet before it rains and stuff. That way we get the nutrients worked in the field. So me and Will are gonna go work on unhooking this and then see what other fun we get into yet today. Well, me and Will were able to get our pump put away, so now we're working on putting a couple other things away. So we already got one of our grinders put away, and now I got the second one here, and then Will's got one of our gravity wagons hooked up to the back of his truck. So we got our 273s out here doing some work. Got the tractor unhooked. I'm working some of our fields that we've been hauling manure on here, so got it hooked up to our finisher here. So just working on the first field, probably about a third of the way done here so far. So just going over it, putting the finisher in the ground a little ways, so that way we can get the manure worked in and stuff. So work on this for a while, unless they're gonna need me for hauling out of the pit or something. My friends had to get going, so they need me to hop back in a tractor here. So I'm working on hauling again here. So I got about halfway done working that field, a little bit over. So I'm actually hauling right next to that field. So trying to keep hauling here. A couple sprinkles, but nothing majorly has came down from the storm that's supposed to be rolling in here. So hopefully we can hold off for a little bit longer and be able to finish up for today. For a progress update on the pit, we're on the home stretch here, so I'm not sure how much they're really going to dig out of this over here, but we're almost done here, because they're going to use some of this to build like a berm like they have here and stuff, because what we've done in years past is try to build a berm so that way we could try to contain the liquids over to one part of the pit, so that way we can use our pump over there that helps flush the barn out sooner, instead of having the whole pit fill up first, and then it takes longer to get up to a level where the pump can actually be used. So shouldn't be hopefully more than a couple hours at the most. Well, I just got told that I didn't need to come back for another load, which is pretty perfect timing because the camera might not show it, but it is just starting to flurry here for the first time. So I'm documenting it. First snow for us of the year, but very little bit left here. We're gonna put it in the last couple loads here, but wherever they don't fill in the last spreaders, they're just gonna build a berm like they got kind of here, so that way all the liquids that are here can just be here for our pump. We're gonna dig out this little bit tomorrow, but yeah, glad to be done. Got a lot accomplished in a couple days here.